Just so you know, this is Mike. I use a phone for audio and computer for video, so you might see two people there. One of them is my phone, the other is me.
Mike Valentine is everywhere.
He's watching.
He is, that's right. He knows when you've been bad or nice.
That's good.
Usually it's me that has technical difficulties. I just want you to know. So I'm always so happy when it's not me. Hi, Georgie.
Hi. I'm sorry about
This
this.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. I did want to
It's
let
all
you
good.
know
I'm
that
glad you're with us.
I wanted to let you know that I got a message from Jonathan Barneshi that he had an emergency and he wouldn't be on tonight. So I'm not sure who all is on the meeting at this point.
I'm on the phone because I couldn't get to my computer, so. Can you hear me?
Yes. And that's
Okay, so, all right, here.
Has Chairman joined the meeting yet?
I have. Hello.
Oh. And has Commissioner Rogan joined the meeting?
I'm
You're
here.
muted. Oh, there we go.
Yes, she had.
Okay. Then I guess we can begin, Chairman.
Sounds good. I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Historic Preservation Commission of the City of Trinidad, Colorado. We begin with a roll call.
Okay, Barneshi, Delicio,
Present.
Remington, Rogan,
Here.
yes.
Here.
Okay, and Commissioner
Thank you.
Remington had previously told me she wasn't able to be here, so we have 3 out of 5, so we do have a quorum.
Cool. Second item, public comments of any items not listed on the agenda. Item 3, approval of the minutes from our meeting of July 8th, 2020. Those minutes were distributed alongside the agenda for this meeting. Are there any questions or comments about those minutes?
I thought they were well put together. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There we go. Hearing none opposed, we will accept those minutes as approved. Item 4, new business commission orientation. I'm glad to invite Mike Valentine and Les Downs to our meeting.
Yes,
Thank you very much. And good to be here. Thanks, you guys. Georgie, do you want to make comments now, or do you want me to wait until you?
Well, I just kind of wanted to introduce it. Last month the commission, we looked at, we were reviewing the ordinance 1975, with council's goals in enacting the ordinance, and the quasi-judicial nature of the commission. And the commissioners raised some questions regarding the commission meeting off-site on location, and if that qualified as a meeting, if that would need to be noticed and recorded. And then there were some additional questions in regard to item 9 in the ordinance, the powers and duties, which is to advise the Planning Commission and City Council on matters related to preserving the historic character of the city. So tonight, Mike Valentine, City Manager, and the City Attorney Les Downs are here to answer any questions that you may have. So I'll turn it back to you, Chairman, to bring up any of the issues that you want to discuss with Mike and Les.
I think clarification about meeting law as we are a quasi-judicial board. There was the idea that could 2 or 3 of us get together and meet in public? Is there a number of people? Is there a percentage of the board? Is there a frequency? Is it verboten altogether? Thank you for the clarification.
And if I could please field that question, I will tell you that as a municipal board, you guys, you can always have 2 of you discussing matters, that are pending before the commission. 2 of you is absolutely permissible. 3 is forbidden unless you do notice and publicly, let everybody know that you're going to be having a meeting. Now, there are exceptions if you're gathering for what is considered like a social reason and not for purposes of the business of the board, then you're okay. However, you need to be very careful if you guys do that to not discuss business for your commission. But you can, but if ever 3 of you are together in any kind of public place, I would just say you may want to, make sure that you don't discuss your business as the Historic Preservation Commission. I hope that helps.
It definitely does. Thank you. That answers a lot. And something that came up since our last meeting, let's imagine the Rotary Club would like to have a guest speaker and more than 2 of us are at that Rotary Club meeting for the purposes of the Rotary Club meeting. However, the topic is historic preservation. Before that would ever happen, I'm glad to get clarification.
Right. And it's a very good question. And let me tell you that kind of thing happens in city council all the time. We'll have like the mayor's state of the city address or, a chamber lunch. It's going to be for the purpose of some city business. So I would say if that happens, the best practice would be for you guys to post that as a meeting. Because that way you can give your opinions, you can discuss pending matters, and you go ahead and post that, and then you're free to discuss anything that pertains to the Historic Preservation Commission or business or matters that you're dealing with.
Cool. And let me just, for clarification's sake, review the process of hosting a meeting. There's a certain amount of time that we need to notify the public. And Georgie, do you cover that process? Thank you.
Yes, I post the meetings.
And so the absolute minimum is 24 hours in advance. And we have places where the postings must be done. We have, by way of ordinance, designated posting places. So we have those, but you have to post a meeting at a minimum 24 hours in advance according to state law and municipal ordinance.
Cool. I think our other question on that is, does it have to be recorded?
It does not have to be recorded. I know that Tom Murphy is on here, so you're probably being videotaped. I don't know, but if you are, that of course is one manner of recording. Now, you guys will have minutes as a municipal board. Georgie, you take minutes of every meeting, right?
Yeah.
I was paying attention when you addressed the minutes earlier in the meeting. So that is one form of preserving your business for posterity. You don't have to have a recording, but you do take minutes, and it's always better for you guys if you do have a recording. Whenever Tom is doing this, you have not only an audio recording, you also have video. and he does that. But it helps to protect you guys, especially if you're staying within the parameters of what you're supposed to do. If you do have, an audio and or video recording, so that you have it, preserved for posterity. Required, no, but it's better that way, and you do again have minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Other questions, you guys? And I do want to say, I'm sorry I didn't let you answer that last question, but, you guys, and by the way, and I'm no one, but I do want to say, thanks for your service on this commission. And it's a wonderful commission, and it seems like a very good group that you guys have on here. But I do want to say, we are here to help you guys. Insofar as you were the Historic Preservation Commission, when you're doing your business for the city, I know that Mike would agree with us. We're here to help you guys. And if ever you need anything, please feel free to reach out to us. And you can call one of us, or you can ask Georgie to ask us questions. But I do want to emphasize that, and I probably should have begun with that. And at some point, I would like to just mention, too, that I know you guys have had some matters come up that have kind of been arguably, and I understand you're wanting to discuss certain matters, but arguably outside the parameters of what you might normally be tasked with talking about. Does that make sense? Like monuments, and I'm not saying, and I'm sorry for this segue, but you probably need to be a little bit careful in terms of what you talk about, especially in these meetings. Does that make sense? But anyway, I'm not. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, and thank you for the segue. I appreciate it. It was my intention, as the chairman, when I heard about the vandalism of a given monument in our town, I put it to this group, and I hope that folks took my invitation to consider the issues surrounding it in the most open-ended way possible. And the other commission members, please back me up as to the nature of my invitation to conversation. It was in no way there's a right, a wrong, or any other thing. Simply, please come to the next meeting armed with what you think about it as vandalism had occurred. Perhaps that right there might have been too much brainstorming for this committee. The idea that it could have been a monument, it could be a building, it could be, there's polarizing things all over the world. So I hope that the commission can find a way to have conversations. That I said it last meeting, I'll say it again, it was never an intention to do anything unless the commission found ourselves in consensus. What I didn't want to do is hear about Denver taking down their Kit Carson monument in the middle of the night without any community discussion whatsoever, and for us to hear about that and shrug off an incidence of vandalism, right?
Right.
So what is the best way for this commission to participate and be of help, right? We're on new ground, I know.
No, absolutely, and we certainly are on new ground. I want to say that, like, your commission may have a recommendation about what you think regarding, a monument for Kit Carson. Like let's say he was an absolute, he was a terrible guy, and he was guilty of many civil rights abuses, and he prevailed over massacres, like say Colonel Shivington at Sand Creek. You guys might want to say that you have a recommendation of City Council that you don't think that there should be a park named after that individual. I think that would be an appropriate recommendation for you guys to make, and even for you to possibly talk about. I'm not sure it falls squarely or directly into, the organic language for the Historic Preservation Commission and what you guys normally do. But isn't that, the problem with everything that's going on is people have decided to act unilaterally, and that's when it becomes vandalism. when they tear down statues. So I would say, insofar as that's concerned, you guys may have consensus on the board about what you think, but you have to understand council may or may not go along with your recommendation in that area. And I also would just recommend that you may not want to spend a tremendous amount of time on it, right? I mean, one person may want to spend many hours on the whole subject of that, and that probably is just not the best use of your time, nor is it the ideal, conduct of business for this commission. Does that make sense? Good.
But it does make sense, and if a third incident of vandalism takes place in the next few weeks, I don't regret the time that this commission has spent. I know friends and neighbors say, "Hey, aren't you on that historic preservation thing? And what do you guys think about the spray painting?" So there's a PR side of this that it's outside of the commission, right? Way outside.
Right, and that's absolutely right. And I was going to say, while that is a monument, and I know that those things do fall under your purview, vandalism of a monument, or like, crime in Trinidad, or things like that, that really is not within your purview. And I think you were getting at that, Mr. Chairman, that, people will want to talk to you about that, but the vandalism of that is, that's really for the police and city council, and you guys, there isn't much you guys can do about vandalism of, anything that might be historic. You can't. It's unfortunate. You may want to comment on it, but there's really nothing you can do about vandalism of those kinds of things. Right, I mean, that's not something. Just go.
Can I create another scenario that might be easier for us? The train that's behind City Hall. Say somebody spray painted something completely arbitrary and silly on it, and it gets tagged. And we, the commission, decide that we're going to each kind of research, and we realize, the proper historical color of that train should be lime green. Would it be appropriate for this commission to write a letter to council saying, we recommend lime green if you're going to go historically? Is that purview?
That would be appropriate if that's what you wanted to do, but you began that, Mr. Chairman, by say that the train behind City Hall was graffitied, or that it was tagged. So the fact that the train was tagged would really not be in your purview. I'm not saying, again, that you couldn't comment on it, you couldn't talk about it, you certainly could, but if you had done research and you found out that the historic color, the appropriate color for the train was lime green, then absolutely you could research that, I'm sure, in your own time, come together. If you have consensus, then make that recommendation to City Council. But I think your recommendation would be independent of whether or not it was the subject of vandalism.
Right. It doesn't have to be tagged for us to do cool stuff like that.
Exactly right. And
by the way, let's not start a rumor. There is no lime green historical record of that train.
As Commissioner Rogan knows, my house is lime green, so I'm very partial to the color. Yeah, my neighbors hate me. They hate me.
He was
But I digress.
Anyway.
That's right.
Now, if I may jump in here, Chairman, just to let you know, because I know you emailed and wondered what is going on over there. We have installed a new arc light. We have, cameras over there. The PD is on it. Doing our best to, police the graffiti and everything. I know that somehow, some way, people see it and they're there before us, and do photo ops. I'll just say it. They have some photo ops out there. That's we've try and get to it before anybody, because the parks guys are out there early, and when we see it, we want it off, and we do our best to get it off. So, and the preventive measures have been installed. We had the second round. It's almost like the person in the hoodie that did the second round knew the camera was there, so installed lights. So it was unidentifiable. The person, allegedly I don't know. Just to let you know that we're on those things. The city, tries to get on as quickly as possible. The police chief himself goes out and paints and washes off graffiti to get it removed as quickly as possible, so the officers can stay on the street. So it's just sad, but that's the case.
Thank you for that update. I appreciate the info. In the name of conversation, I had invited every commissioner to come with their thoughts, and we are not having an actionable discussion by any means. But can I open it up?
Feel free. I mean, any questions of us? Any of you guys have? I feel like Mike and I are making a cameo appearance here. Georgie, do you have anything you want us to talk about, or anything you want to?
I would just add in there, Les, Chairman, if I may. The Historic Preservation Commission is fairly new, and I think several of you are new, so I think it was good that Georgie started out by going over the ordinance and what your purview is and stuff. I know that we had you designate the library as one of the first buildings with, the designation, but I would just look at the Article 13 under certified local governments and kind of go through that, and I think Georgie's on it. We're hoping that, we can get some of our buildings and such and designated and get that movement going. I don't know, Georgie, if you want to add to that. That's my thought.
Yes, definitely, and we want to get some structures landmarked. In order to do that, I think we just really have to educate the community. So the talks about speaking at the Rotary Club, things of that nature, those have a big impact. So I just really encourage the commission to focus on educating the community, and hopefully that will lead to more properties being landmarked and therefore protected.
Good point.
Yeah.
I'd like to have another month to give my input. I think our venue is to do the landmarking and designating, and if we want a little more time to give us some time on using some history of that monument, that's what I think our purview is about, and to show the public the information on either way. So I think it's important to get the information out. And that might be our second job.
That's true.
Pre-COVID, we were going to support people's application to the landmark process by offering. Georgie can remind me. It was a certain amount of cash for the first 20, 50 people that, and we were going. That was included in an early city council budget, just to try to incentivize people to landmark their properties. Another way to think about it might be encouraging 501c3s to landmark their properties. I think of the famous department store and the Fox West Theater Alliance and the A.R. Mitchell Museum. Those are, I mean, the landmarking status, we can nudge some folks in the right direction who are not actual resident property owners, right?
Maybe we can ask.
Might that be a good tact, Mike?
What?
Designated.
What, Georgie? What were you going to say?
Oh, this is Jean. I was thinking
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
City Hall might be one next that we should designate and get some. Do like we did the library to get it designated.
It's a great idea.
There's some historic figures inside here.
That's right.
Are you
And the
looking at
Waterworks
are you
building
looking at-
too, right? Isn't the Waterworks building a city-owned property?
Yes, and I love that building. And if you guys could please come up with a use for that building, then we'll give you a civic award. But no, it's a great building. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Maybe Mike can give us a list of buildings that are city-owned that should be prioritized into that designation process. Because we still have some consulting money to do that, I think.
We can get you some for discussion, definitely.
Good. All right, you guys. Well, should we get out of your way and let you have a meeting? I'm happy to. Any other questions or anything else?
No, thank you. That clarified a lot for me. This is Jean.
Yeah. Hi, Gene. Madam Commissioner, I should say. Well, you guys, thank you, everybody, and please again let us know if you have any questions or if we can do anything, and we're always happy to make appearances. Mike doesn't have anything else to do. He's
Yes, and
No,
I want to
seriously.
thank you both. I want to thank you both for helping me out here, and I've learned a few things tonight, so I appreciate it.
Well,
Thank
you're the
you.
bomb, Georgie. But you guys, thank you. And again, let us know, please, if
Thank
you do
you.
anything. Mike, I don't need to talk for you, buddy.
Well, I do have that one question that still relates to that brick yard because that was demolished, and I think we need to look at our why that doesn't come before the city council and the historical preservation on permit to demolish before it gets demolished. The brick
I
factory.
know. Yeah, I have spoken to Georgie a little bit about that, and that's very unfortunate. I think your desire and your power to preserve historic buildings is outweighed by private landowners when they want to do something, especially if they arguably can say that they're kind of abating a nuisance. I mean, I shouldn't say nuisance, but like kind of a dangerous condition there. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but that's, I think, what takes precedence and why they were able to do that. Do you agree with that, Georgie and Mike? I mean, that we couldn't really stop it.
What I'd like to say about the brickyards is, the brickyards were not landmarked, so we really don't have any control over them, and they're not on the National Register or the State Register either. If one of those three, if they were on one of those three, we would have some purview over them. But that's the impetus for us to get buildings landmarked. That's the only
Exactly,
way we
I
can really
agree.
protect them. Yeah.
That's a good
The only
point.
way to protect.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification about private land owners.
So, and our ordinance, 1975, is based. It's a voluntary program. It's really important that we just bring people in to our way of thinking, and that's through education, because they have to be 100% on board to landmark their property.
Good. All right, you guys. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? Okay. Well, thank you all.
Thanks for the
Thank you
opportunity.
both again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you both. Bye-bye.
All right, let's move along on our agenda. We're up to item 5, unfinished business, the survey plan update.
And I just have a little bit for you on that, Chairman. Just I'm getting some feedback on my phone. I apologize. the consultants are continuing to do their research right now. But I wanted to check and see if any of you were able to check out that questionnaire that's on the website. I haven't received any new surveys that were answered. I just wondered if you were able to see them.
I want to make sure I received what you're speaking about.
Okay.
I'm looking at emails from you right now.
Okay, last month at our meeting, I talked about we put a questionnaire on the city website.
Right.
And there was an article in the paper about it. Initially, I got a members of the public to go on there and fill it out. But I haven't gotten any. I wanted the commission to look at it and utilize social media, spread the word. Is anybody able to access that?
I'll try to do it this weekend. I haven't done it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've only gotten about 6 responses to it.
Yeah, I'll distribute it as well.
Yeah, that'd be great if we can get the word out. And that's all I had on that.
I'm good.
Okay.
We're up to item 6, the chairman's report, and my report is very brief. We all know the statue has been vandalized for a second time. I have heard of no other incidents of vandalism in this town that might be related to our history that would be within our purview, though I have heard of a number of other incidents of vandalism. As the Historic Preservation Commission, thank you all for being the vigilant people that you are in staying tuned with what I'm really glad Les described as one of the really, really difficult times in our country, and we are at the forefront of it and are thinking about these issues in ways that other communities are shrugging off. So thank you. We're not going to give up, and we'll get that train painted lime green. You watch. Okay, that was a joke. Totally a joke. It's not supposed to be lime green.
I will say,
moving on.
I take some time to go over to Kit Carson and check everything out, and you know, my kind of on it from what you talked about, important history to tell it happened, and kind of let people come to their own conclusions on it. But the truth of the matter is that it's so much more history than what that statue is. The history of the park itself is much more, and it's been much more part of our town, and so it's a cool statue. It looks neat, but I say, I would say, the whole Kit Carson was why you significant. Embrace true honor and history than a statue.
I agree. The park is much larger than a commemoration of one person. It's an entity here in Trinidad that we think about and we use and we enjoy. So I asked a friend of mine today, I said, what do you think about the statue? And he says, well, my only problem with it is it's inaccurate. Kit Carson always rode a mule, not a horse. I said, well... So whether it's fact or fiction, it is a statue of Kit Carson, and it is here in Trinidad, Colorado, right?
Yep.
Moving on, if it's cool. Commissioners' reports, item number 7. Hearing none.
Well, I do have a little report, but I'd rather submit it in writing.
Oh, please, thank you.
In writing.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I did attend 6 of the 6 sessions from the Tacoma. I forget the name. The National Association of Historical Preservation. But I would like to write up a report. 3 of the 6 that were outstanding. One about. And they had so many, 5 days or 7 days. Plano, Texas was a good example of a graphically beautiful, which I'll get you all the websites and I'll send a report. And thank you.
That would be great.
That
would be great.
Thank you, Georgie, for getting all that coordinated. It was really beneficial.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Any other commissioners' reports? I have 2 things I forgot. My apologies. But they're worth saying. Fox West Theater Alliance, the 501c3, looking after the Fox West Theater. We are doing a virtual fall season. We're doing videos of live performance on the stage. We're doing videos of historic walkthroughs of spaces in the building that you don't usually see. And I'm proud to say we're producing content now between now and the end of September. And we have secured a major sponsor. And I'm not going to be able to tell you who it is, but it's a well-known Trinidad business whose logo will appear at the top of every video when the series is done. I am looking for anyone and everyone who might be interested in participating in this season. If you're a musician, I can put you on the stage. If you're interested in appearing in front of the camera and kind of improvising off a set of bullet points to talk about one of America's greatest historic performance venues, let me know, please. As we're all history-oriented. How's that?
I would love to do talking about it.
Yeah.
Nobody
that'd be great. Excellent. I will email you, and we can make some time.
Are you planning on the information on?
Alongside a videographer, we have a web guru who is going to revamp our website, foxwesttheater.com, and additionally, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All of the videos will be available on YouTube, and it will not be a subscription. It's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's for free. And you will see the logos of our corporate sponsors. Next year, a membership drive of some sort. So I wanted to make mention of that, and if anybody's got any interest or you know somebody that would have interest in participating, please do contact me. The other thing is American Association of State and Local Historians. I was investigating that group recently and chose to become a member. Their conference is virtual, and it is at the end of September. It's like $70 to join the group and $50 to become a member. So I just wanted to throw that out there in case anybody... Does anyone have any familiarity with that group?
No,
I've never heard of it.
Right on. American Association of State and Local Historians. So I'll keep you posted. I'm sorry to have to rewind my report. Please.
If I could ask, maybe you could email me that information about the commissioner.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
That would be great.
I compliment you on the Fox West Alliance. It's a lot of work to get that put together, I'm sure.
Thank you.
It's a great process that I read. Good model.
Thank you.
Good model.
It's very exciting to have the written agreement with the city and a 501c3 nonprofit. It is very exciting. The Fox West Theater is more exciting than any of us know.
I agree.
How's that for my assessment? After 4 years of working on the project, I have to say I know less than I ever thought.
That's how history works, Chris, right?
That's right. That's right. The deeper you dig. I'm going to move on, if it's good, if we have no more commissioners' reports, to the planning administrator's report.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. And I don't have much other than I did want to kind of reiterate what Commissioner Delizio said in regard to the training that went on last week. It was an amazing number of classes. I didn't attend them all, but I think I involved in 5 or 6 of them. All different types of things were really great. I've been told that I should be getting an email with videos of each of the sessions. And if it works, I'll try and provide those to all of you. So at your leisure, you can check them out.
Great.
I thought it was really good training. And so I'd like to be able to share it with many of you if possible.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, but that was all I had. Chairman.
All right, and that brings us to the end of our meeting. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Go ahead.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
That's for me, Gene. Second.
And I believe all in favor say aye.
Aye.
There it is, folks. Thank you all. I think we had a great conversation tonight. I really appreciate everybody.
Thank
Okay.
you. Can we take those trainings? More about the Fox too, can't we?
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yes, I'm going to email. Excellent. That's exactly what we need. We've got a pro video. We've got good video in tow. So